Hi there. So just wanted to show you how to create audiences inside of Meta. So we're in the audiences tab at the moment. So on the left hand side over here, we're inside of audiences. And inside of here, you can see the list of all the audiences that you've created before. But in the top left, you have this create audience button, and you can click custom audience, lookalike audience, or saved audience. So custom audience is essentially anybody who's interacted with one of your resources or assets. So that might be people who visited your website, people who've interacted with you on social media in various formats, or things like your email list or attending events. Lookalike audiences are people who are similar to those who are in your custom audience. So let's just say it might be your email list and you might have 10,000 emails in there. You can create an audience of people who are similar to that audience, and we'll show you how to do that. And saved audiences, which is based on demographics and interests and behaviors. So are people interested in cars or four-wheel driving or health and wellness? And you can build an audience based on those individuals, based on what they've interacted with. So let's get started with custom audiences. So over here, you click that and you get this list. Now, there's lots of things that you can build in here. I'm not going to go into each of them, but some of the common ones which we look at are website. So if they visit your website, your customer lists, so that must be email addresses, your Instagram account, if they've interacted with your Instagram account, or your Facebook page. Now you can also use specific things like video. Are there specific videos which they've watched and how long have they watched it for? So you can build audiences of people who've engaged with your brand for a more period of time. But let's just start with website because they're all pretty similar after this. Click next. And we'll just use Buy Vegan as our source website. That's one of our sub brands. Now, based on events, so you can look at all website visitors, people who visit a specific page, or if they've spent a specific amount of time on a page, they might be specifically interested in something, or custom events which you've made. Might be page view, might be add to cart, might be add to checkout, might be a submit inquiry form. We just don't have them set up on this website, but let's just click this list and go to Hedgehog. We can see the different events in here, so schedule or initiate checkout or lead. So for example, anyone who's a lead. Now you might want to use lead as an example if you'd like to exclude a custom audience, which might be leads, from appearing in future ads, or you might like target people who've scheduled a meeting and you'd like to give them specific advertisements. Audience retention is how long you'd like to retain that audience, so it's up to 180 days. So you can say anybody who's scheduled a meeting in the last 180 days. And you can also refine it by specific information. You can include more people in this audience, so you can have an or rule, or you can exclude people. So it's basically an and, it's not an and rule, exclude people who have done something. So a common one might be, let's have anyone who's visited the website in the last 180 days, but it has not been a lead in the last 180 days. So we want to just exclude anyone who's existing leads. So we'd call this website visitors 180 days, no leads. That's an example of how to create a custom audience. Now, from this, we can actually create a lookalike audience. So as I was saying before, you can create audiences of people who are similar to those who are in a custom audience of yours. You can click this link here, or another way to do it is, let's just go over here, website visitors 180 days. You can click here and this drop down, and you can create a lookalike based off of that. Now, you can also click here to create a lookalike audience, and let's just do website visitors, other sources. When website visitors 180 days, no leads, just use that as an example. Now you can put in a country here, so you can only go to the country level. And you can create multiple lookalike audiences. And what that means is basically relates to this chart below. Now this chart below from 0 to 10% is showing of the region that you selected, would you like to have 1% of the population of that region which closely matches your audience, or up to 10%? So you can see that figure, 2.3 million, is about 10% of Australia, of targetable people, and 1% is about 227,000 people. So it's really just about how tight you want that audience to be based on the region which you've selected. Now, we like to start as tight as possible because 227,000 people, for most small businesses in Australia in particular, or medium-sized businesses even, that audience is pretty correct. You can create multiple audiences. So you could say I'd like a 1 and a 2. You could say I'd like a 1, 2, and a 10, or a 1, 5. Yes, sorry, a 1, a 5, and a 10. You can create multiple audiences, so you can see those sizes here. We like to just start the smallest, and then once we saturate that audience and essentially reach all of them, then we can move to the larger ones. And that's how you create a lookalike audience. Let's just get out of that one. And then the last one, so a saved audience. Now this is where it's based on interests. So right now we're targeting a few 100 million people. But let's just say in locations we'd like to target, you can get a bit more specific. So we could say specific suburb in Melbourne. And let's just say we want to target Malvern. Now you can also exclude specific suburbs. And once you've included a suburb, you can also change it to excluded. You can also just drop a pin and just say, I'd like to target there. Now you can see that's a specific location, and you can actually have a radius, so you can go down to 1 kilometer, so you can get really quite specific, or you can go a bit broader. So for local businesses, it's really good to do this. You might just want to drop that pin on your business and make it, depending what type of business you are, just a few kilometers, so you can capture everybody there. If you've got your minimum age, you can exclude custom audiences from your saved audience. You can put a specific language in there. And you can also include people who are within a specific custom audience. Now, one of the most strongest parts of this is the detailed targeting, and you can do age and gender as well. One of the most strongest parts of this is the detailed targeting down the bottom here. And you can say people who, let's just say, for example, are interested in digital marketing training. Now, if I scroll back up to the top, we can see that my audience is down to 640,000 to 751,000. Now, that's actually still quite a few people who live within these areas and are interested in digital marketing. Let's also do, and so you could add in more audiences here, more things. So you could say they also social media, online advertising, and just target quite a few things, but they're all rules. So you're just going to build a really big audience. Then you could narrow it based on something else they're interested in. So for me, I'm going to do small business owners. So we're interested in people within these areas who are interested in digital marketing, online advertising, social media marketing, but are also, they must match, be a small business owner. So let's see how big that audience is now. Ooh, 13,000 to 15,000. So it's actually gotten quite a bit smaller, and it's quite a narrow, specific audience of people who we're looking to target. And if I give it a name, so I can say small business owners interested in digital marketing, and I can then click create saved audience. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much everything you need to know about creating audiences. Hope that helps. Cheers.